Hi everyone, welcome to Intro to Media. This video is our course and syllabus overview where I'm going to talk you through a little bit about our Canvas site and some of the other platforms we're going to be using and what you can expect from the semester. So what is this course about? This course combines a historic overview of the development of media institutions, and the roles of media in society with a set of practical guidelines and a practice for developing a critical approach to thinking about media. We're going to pay particular attention to the economic, political, and cultural forces that shape, and we'll also investigate the effects of media in different domains and for different audiences. And towards the end of the semester, we'll look at how media is studied and the fields that do that. Our textbook for this class is Media and Culture, Mass Communication in a Digital Age, and we're using the 13th edition, and you should all have access to it through an ebook platform, Macmillan Achieve, which is where you will also be doing some of your assignments. So what you can expect as far as course materials and assignments, each week you'll be responsible for reading 1 to 2 chapters from your textbook. There's a few rare weeks where you'll have a 3-chapter week. I think there's only 1 or 2, and it kind of depends on what we decide collectively about how to handle spring break. We'll also have learning curve and chapter quiz assignments, and that's through this platform called Achieve. Learning curves are kind of an open book quiz. You can have the textbook open while you're going through it. It's really just a guide to kind of help focus your reading so that you're paying attention to some of the more important aspects of what it is that we're learning in that chapter, rather than feeling like you're sort of lost in just reading through the text. Quizzes are more traditional. These are worth very few points each week, but altogether they add up to be 25% of your grade in conjunction with the quizzes that are embedded in your lectures, which we'll talk about in a minute. I'm also a big believer in engaging with a lot of kinds of media content for learning. So I will often be giving you guys assigned documentaries, podcast episodes that will help provide additional context on the topics for each week. I'm also open to you guys sending me things you want to talk about. So if there's something going on in the news or the media, especially that it connects to what that week's topic is, please send it to me and we can include it. So the lectures, like this, every week you will have a lecture from me, or sometimes you'll have a guest lecture from one of the other Sky faculty members that will talk to you about their research and how it connects to what we're doing that week. These will have a few small questions embedded at the end of the quiz on this Edpuzzle platform that you're getting used to right now. And that will be included in the 25% lecture quiz, reading quiz portion of your grades. So you have those 25% textbook and lecture quizzes, and those have 3 built-in absences. So just as if this was an in-person class, anything that's sort of participation-based, you're allowed to miss 3 without it impacting your grade at all. You don't need to let me know. You don't need to say, hey, I can't do the participation activity this week, or you don't need to do anything. They're just automatically dropped. Your 3 lowest are automatically dropped. If you do all of them, then your 3 lowest scores would be dropped. But if you miss a few, then those zeros go away. You'll also be doing a mass media mini lecture, which we're going to talk a little bit more about in a minute, and writing assessments, and those all each are 25% of your grade added up together. So quizzes, they'll be embedded in these different platforms. You can see samples here on the screen. At the top, you're going to see this is what a regular chapter quiz looks like. The second one is a learning curve, which I was explaining is the kind of open book, read as you go, take questions as you're going. And then the bottom shows you what your lecture quizzes are going to look like on Edpuzzle, where you'll have a quiz question at the very end of a lecture. Those are not able to be fast forwarded through, but you can watch them at double speed if you're a person who gets frustrated by slow talking, which I understand. You can also slow them down if I talk too fast, because I've gotten feedback in both directions. There's no final exam for this course, so these quizzes and your writing and video assignment are the only models of assessment. There's no big exam at the end. None of these questions are meant to be tricky. Everything is really just to help you build knowledge of what you're reading. Participation activities on the Canvas discussion board are designed to help us stay connected with each other, and they're a really important part of this course. Sometimes people try to skip these. Like I said, you have 3 built-in absences, but try really to participate with the remaining ones. These are short activities, and they're going to be kind of split along 2 lines. In the beginning half of the semester, I'm going to have you guys be practicing this, what we're going to learn about in this first week, the 5-step critical process, which teaches you a model for media literacy and helps you approach how media study works. So this is going to help you understand how to think through media and see how other researchers are looking at and thinking about media as well. So in the first half, we're going to be mostly talking through media that we'll look at and analyze in discussion posts. But in the latter half of this semester, when you're going to be doing more of your writing assignments in the longer form of the 5-step process, I'm going to ask you guys to be more conversational. And that's always going to be melded in as well. But we'll have less a 5-step where you have to answer specific questions. It'll be a little bit more conversational. This is a big time in media that we're going to be in this class together. So it's really important for us to get to know each other and have an opportunity to talk through some of the big things that are going to be going on in the next couple of months. Again, this counts towards 25% of your grade. You will all also sign up for a mass media mini lecture. This is essentially a TikTok or a YouTube short or other form of short video where you are explaining something. I encourage you guys to think about the kinds of visuals that you use. I'm going to encourage you not to use traditional slideshow platforms like the one I'm using right now, because I want you guys to get out of that box a little bit of that kind of mode of making and thinking about how to present information and be a little bit more conversational. So it's important that when you select your topic, it's something that you want to talk about. It's something that you find interesting. You'll be able to sign up for a topic in a week that suits you. So think about those two things. Think about when it is. So if you know you have games or travel or something that's going to be demanding your attention, try not to sign up around those times. And think about something that's actually interesting to you. And you will post your videos in a discussion forum each week. You have one video you make the whole semester. You're not going to make one every week. But the video that you make, we'll be posting those weekly to each other and having a discussion platform to be able to look at them and give each other feedback. These two are worth a total of 25% of your grade. The lecture itself is 15 points possible, and there's a rubric for that in the assignment if you have questions about how that's assessed. There's a script and a short description that you have to also submit, which will show me how you did your research. That's where you're going to have citations and references. And then the final part is on the last week of class. Everyone will write a short assessment of how they felt about the assignment, what they think worked, what they think I might want to change in how I make these assignments, and also what you might have done differently if you were to redo it, and give you an opportunity to kind of, celebrate some of your classmates' successful videos as well. Your last form of assessment is writing analysis assignments, and these are worth 12.5 points a piece because there's 2 of them. So other than your mass media mini lecture, these are going to be your most weighted assignments. And this is going to be a way for you to go through this 5-step process and apply it in either mini studies or critical analysis of media content, like a documentary or a podcast or an article. You will mostly have options for mini studies because I'm trying to get you guys to understand a little bit about how media researchers work and the kind of work that somebody like me, who's a PhD in the School of Communication and Information, the kind of work that we do and how we go about that process. And also because we'll have an opportunity to talk about media content in our participation activities when we're all sort of watching the same thing. So there's only a few that are media content based, and everyone has to do at least one that's a mini study. If you have any questions about how to do these, you're welcome to write to me. I have open office hours. You can come talk to me about these because I know people get a little bit stressed. I will also allow you to redo one of them at the end of the semester if you feel like one of your grades you weren't happy with it. So if you see my feedback and it helps you understand how to do it differently, you're welcome to resubmit it. A word on this, and it's in our syllabus as well. I pay close attention to this and in participation activities to whether or not you are writing in your own voice. One of the disappointing things about AI is not only that it prevents you from practicing the skill of writing, which is an important skill that you will use in your life, I promise. Even though there is so many opportunities to use AI, it is still important for us to know how to articulate ourselves because it helps us think through ideas. So not only does it rob you of that, but on a more selfish level, I want to hear what you guys really think. I want to know your ideas about something, not a kind of standard computer-generated book report. So I'm really looking for seeing how you guys are approaching something, what you are actually observing and how you're experiencing what you're observing and what you think about that. So I pay a lot of attention to that, and keep that in mind that you want to be writing from a place that's about your own investment and your own investigation of what it is that you're looking at. That said, I want to be clear, like if I can tell it's AI, I will probably ask you to redo it. I don't take papers that come up with more than 25% a plagiarism notification. I obviously don't count quotes and things like that. I'm not, I'm pretty generous, but I'm not interested in getting people in trouble, but I will simply not take something or ask you to resubmit it. Just so you know, that's our policy. If you want more information on that in the syllabus, there's a very clear rundown of the AI policy for the course. And again, if you have any questions about that, please let me know. And for people who lean on AI a lot because of concerns about grammar, I want to be very clear. I am not judging you based on like rules about grammar. There's a small aspect of your grade that relates a little bit to how your writing goes, but it is a very small portion. And I am not here to grade you harshly based on those things. Again, I want you to be focusing on developing your critical thinking skills. Okay, so finally, our last slide, just to go through a little bit. This is what your week is going to look like in different places. So I just wanted you to understand at the top on the side here, and this is what it looks like on Canvas in the syllabus. This is what you'll see in your syllabus versus behind, well, the tall one, right? This is what it looks like on Canvas in the module. I really recommend that you guys use the module every week as your guide for what is due versus the syllabus, because things change. And also, don't depend on the to do or what's missing or those kinds of ways that people I know often navigate Canvas. Really make it a point to go to your modules page and look at like what is in that week and check it off for yourself, because Canvas is not always great about these things, and sometimes people miss assignments that way. So just try to visit the homepage, which is our modules page of this course regularly. You'll also see here on the bottom, this is what it looks like in your Achieve platform, in your ebook platform. This is what you'll see as your upcoming assignments that are in that platform only, right? So this isn't going to include things like our participation activity, or if you're supposed to be watching and commenting on somebody's mass media mini lecture, that won't be included there. This is just those assignments for that platform. So I know that it's a little bit tricky that we're going to be working with 3 platforms. We have Canvas itself, we have Edpuzzle for lecture videos, and we also have Achieve. But it should be pretty seamless after the first week. Let me know if you're struggling with anything and you need any clarification. I am here. I have office hours every Monday night, 5 to 6. And if that time doesn't work for you, please send me an email through the Canvas platform and we will find a time that does, because I'm here to help you. If you have any other questions about the course or concerns about any kind of assessment model, let me know. Just to backtrack a little on the mass media mini lectures, people get scared because it is kind of the TikTok style and they're worried that like, oh my God, what if I'm not comfortable with my face on camera? What if that makes me nervous or something like that? I've had people do all kinds of really creative solutions where they've used other kinds of visuals other than their own face. They've even, scripted it and then had like a different kind of voice speak it, like, a generated voice, an AI generated voice, which is fine. That's one way I'll let you use AI. But don't feel stressed about the assignments. We will find ways to make them workable for you if you have concerns about any of the aspects. So that is it. Be sure to read your syllabus closely. Again, revisit Canvas regularly, especially the modules page. It's going to be like your best friend for knowing what's going on. Feel free to email me or come to office hours or ask for a meeting anytime you like. Keep me posted. And I'm excited to have this semester with you guys. It's good to meet you. Take care. Bye.